Operation video for wire cutting and stripping machine. Model number is ZDBX-1. Number one, you want to go ahead and make sure the AC cable is plugged in. Go ahead and hit the on switch and make sure the emergency stop button is depressed by twisting it. The machine comes on. Over here you have basically a self-explanatory control panel here. A basically shows you the leftover shield on the beginning of the wire. C, you have the exposed wire, which I just press C. As you notice that the parameters start flashing. And by the way, for A here, if you press A, the first parameter start flashing. These parameters are in millimeters. Right now is set at 8 millimeter for the leftover shield on the front of the cable. 03, which stands for 3 millimeter exposed wire. L, here is the total length of the cable. Right now is set at 100 millimeter. And just to show you how you change these parameters, if you look over here with the control panel, if you want to change that from 100 millimeter to something else, all you do is press the number key. For example, let's say 1 to 50. So you go 0, 0. We'll change that 1 to 0, and then 5. If you look over here, the 0 is flashing, which we can change the parameter, but we don't need to. But before it's 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Now it's going to be now it's showing 0, 0, 0, 5, 0. And for you to go ahead and have that save, all you gotta do is hit enter. But for this demonstration, we're gonna go ahead and do the wires at 100 millimeters. So we're gonna go ahead and change that back to 100 millimeter and enter. D and B are basically the same as the A and C, which basically allow you to set the parameters for the leftover shield and exposed wire on the back of the cable. Which right now is set at 0, 0, means that we're not going to have any exposed wire or leftover shield on the back of the cable, so it's going to be a clean cut. JD here basically allow you to set up the wire gauge size that you want to cut. We are using a 24 gauge cable for demonstration, so right now it's set at 19. If you're using a larger gauge cable or smaller gauge cable, you have to change that parameter to match the cable. But we're not going to mess with that. If you want further instruction on that or information on that, you could go ahead and refer to the manual. Next button we have here is sum. The sum button, as you notice, this part of the value is flashing, and just to quickly the total button here is the total amount of cable you're gonna cut. So anyways, back to the sum. The sum is batch. For example, if you have a customer that want to purchase 100 pieces of cable is pre-cut to the specified length that they want, but they want it in batches of 10. So this is where this comes in handy. Right now we're doing a demonstration of, let's say, preset of 10 cable, and we have a total of 20. So that means as soon as you hit the stop button, the machine is going to go ahead and cut 10 cables, and then we'll stop, pause, wait for you to go ahead and hit the stop button again. So hopefully that gives you an idea what this does. So for example, another example would be, let's say a customer wants 1,000 cables, but they want it in a zip tie batch of 100 cables. You could set up the sum to 100 and then the total to be 1,000. But anyways, for this demonstration, we're going to go ahead and do 10 batch. The machine is going to stop and wait for you to go ahead and hit the stop button again. We'll go ahead and finish up total of 20 cables that you will have. Alright, before we go and install, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to feed the cables and what you have to do. On the front there, you'll see all these rotors. Just to give you a quick information here, some quick knowledge on these. This first set of rotor is the feeder rotor, which pushes the wires through, and over here you have a set of receiver rotor, which basically pushes the wire out, the completed cutted wire. And before you can even do anything, you want to go ahead and loosen this screw here. This is a hex wrench. It's a hex screw. Loosen it up so that way you could go ahead and adjust the proper wire gauge that you're feeding in. As you notice, as soon as I loosen the screw, this rotor here is loose, drops down. This cable, like I said, this is a 24 gauge cable, but whatever size you're using, you have to adjust it to that size. So all you gotta do is, after you, well, we're gonna go ahead and do the feeding, okay? So you go ahead and feed the cable through these loops to about here. You can go ahead and just push it up, tighten it up, and then I'll show you afterwards. It's pretty simple to do. So tighten the rotor, make sure it's kind of tight, because if not, the length of the cables might not be proper. So you go ahead and just twist this small rotor to go ahead and feed the cable into the feeding tube here until it comes out on the other end, which is like that. By this time you're pretty much ready to use. First thing you want to do is go and just cut the tip of that wire. So like I said, the length of the cable will be proper after that. You adjust the receiver rotor the same way. There's a screw here you gotta loosen with the hex wrench. But for now, like I said, this is a simple instructions, so this should get you up and running. And if you have any further questions on the operation of the machine, you can go ahead and refer to the manual. Now all the parameters have been set up, the wire gauge has been set up, the rotors has been tightened. All you gotta do is hit the start button to get the process started. And like I mentioned, the machine will stop at 10 cables. And if you want to continue, you could go and just hit the stop button again, and we'll continue cutting the rest of the cable. And that's it.